suggest that they verbalise those feelings of guilt, either to the counsellor, to each other. Right. Express the feelings and maybe rephrase it from guilt to regret. We all feel regret about things that haven't gone as well as we'd wanted, or actions that we've taken that have caused pain, or the fact that we can't do all that we would like to do. But regret is a step more in a more positive direction. Guilt is just anxiety about something that's happened that you can't do anything about, and it stops you from actually getting on with your life. And that is just negative. There is nothing positive about it. It will carry on affecting your relationships. So what you want to do is stop the effect of something that you might regret having happened. And if you've got children, you can talk to them about it. You know, I wish we had more time to do this. I'm sorry that this happened in the past. And to your partner, apologising for things that have happened, acknowledging them and apologising for them, as coupled with suggesting ways of changing and improving, are steps to getting rid of guilt. I think it's very important sometimes that it is acknowledged, because people who carry hurt about what their partner or their parents have done for them, it's often the result of the person who they feel has done that to them never acknowledging it. Then you can move on. You leave it behind, and when guilt comes in, deal with it. There are strategies for dealing with thoughts which are negative.
And what would be some of those?
Well, for example, you could call it reprogramming yourself, that we have a negative thought, and if we think about that often enough, obsess about it, we then are filled with negative emotion. And it's the emotion which can be damaging, because the emotion will then result in us acting in a certain way. So if we think about something that's happened or we've done that wasn't right or we should not, and we dwell on that, we then start having great feelings of guilt or anxiety or depression, which then lead us to acting in a way, by withdrawing or by being snappy, or not giving ourselves in an open and loving way to people, or by allowing ourselves to be mistreated or used in some kind of way, or not being able to be assertive because we're carrying this guilt. So I would suggest that you start by learning when you're having those thoughts, and you train yourself to cut off that thought. Most people don't know they're having the thoughts till they're deep in the emotion, but by training yourself in self-awareness, you think, oh, I'm thinking this thought now, so I'm going to cut that off, and maybe by refocusing on something else, something positive, which will really take hold of your mind. It has to take over your thought process. Maybe start learning another language, or memorising poetry, or doing a mathematical equation, or doing something which just for a few moments will take your full concentration. Something totally different. And then your mind will learn not to go that way. Every time you start cutting that thought off, your mind will learn that there's not much point in going there, and it will remove all those negative emotions for you. Some people learn to do it really quickly, in days. Other people, it takes weeks and months to do. But it is a process of understanding what's happening to you. So in terms of things that have gone wrong in your past, or things that you've been doing wrong, if you can face what they have been, think, okay, that's done. I've apologised wherever it's possible to do so. I've acknowledged it. I am now going to change what I'm doing so that that doesn't happen again. So I'm now going to move on with the rest of my life, leave it behind, and do and behave in a way which I want to do and behave, how I want to behave. And that's the most positive thing that you can do for you and your family, because ultimately we all make mistakes, and we will carry on making mistakes. It's human nature. None of us are perfect. We don't get it right all the time. All we can do is the best that we can do, and forgive ourselves and other people for the mistakes that we make, and move on. And it's the same for our children, and that's what we'll be teaching our children, because they will make mistakes and they will feel bad and guilty about things, and they want to know that they can acknowledge it, perhaps learn a better way of doing it, move on, and it's not held over them anymore.